in your recipe for mise en place day 1 of your steak fajitas. After you've prepared your marinade, put your steak with your marinade, put it in the fridge, you're going to now prep your vegetables. Your vegetables are your topping, which you will be cooking on day 2. You're going to be using a variety of different peppers and a little bit of red onion. Step number 1 is don't assume that it's been washed for you. So you're going to put your peppers into your colander, and we're going to wash this in the food prep sink. Now, within the room, there are food prep sinks. This is meant just for food prep. There should be no soap in here or anything of the sort. So you're just going to give it a nice little rinse with some cold water, just to wash off any pesticides or any bacteria when people touch it at the grocery store or during packaging. Okay, so now we're going to walk back over to our food prep area. We're going to cut our peppers. Each pair is going to use about 1/3 of the pepper. We're going to be using red, green, and yellow-green peppers. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the membrane into my garbage bowl. Just do that quickly, easily. If you have some of the seeds still in this, that's absolutely okay. It's not hot. The yellow and the red pepper are a little bit sweeter. Actually, the red pepper is the sweetest. And the reason we're using a variety of color, or a variety of peppers, is for the color. It adds lots of variety, and it's visually appealing to the eye. I'm just going to get rid of all that membrane. Okay. And then I'm also going to prep my onion for cutting. We're using red onion. Again, this is for flavor. It's a little bit sweeter, not as abundant as like a white or a yellow onion. I'm just going to cut off the sides. Put that into your garbage bowl, and then remove the outer shell. Just like so. You're going to be using, again, about 1/3. If you don't like a lot of onion, you can always take it out later, but it does add a lot of flavor. Okay. Alright, I've already sliced some of our peppers up for us. I'm going to show you how to do the green pepper. It's the same way as you will do the yellow and the red. You want them thinly sliced. You don't want them bite-sized. You want them nice, long strips because they are going to cook and they're going to become very limp. Okay, you're going to face it this way. You can cut it in half just so it's a flatter surface. It makes it easier to maneuver the knife as well as the vegetable. Okay, you just want nice, thin slices. Just a quick review with knife skills, cut away from you. I know sometimes it's hard, but try your best. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just make sure they're as uniform in size as you can try to make them. Okay. Because you're not eating this today, you're going to be putting it in a bag, and these are all going to be cooked together, so it's okay if all the peppers are mixed in one bag. We've already removed the outer shell of our onions, so now we're just going to thinly slice these into, again, bite-sized pieces. You don't want to dice them or anything like that because you're keeping it whole to use as your filling. To do this, you're just going to cut down, and because there's already separation, you're not going to have to slice them long ways like that. And then, there you go. I still have a little bit of my core. Just cut that out so it's not hard. It's not going to taste very pleasant. And then, again, put these right into the bag with the peppers. So you're going to be cooking them all together. And then again, you'll label this just like the meat, filling, period, and your name or whatnot. Okay? And you're going to store this for day 2. Okay, now we are going to start day 2 of your steak fajitas. So on your planning sheet, there was the day 1 of the prep, and then now day 2 is the actual cooking. For day 2, you want to start with, you'll gather your ingredients. So I have my marinated steak, and I have my prepped vegetables. You're going to start with, you need to set up some type of draining contraption. You're going to you take a bowl, and then you're going to take a colander. You're going to take your meat, and you are going to just dump it on in to your colander. You can dispose of your bag, and then just drain out. My hands are clean. I'm going to pick them up. Clearly, since I'm touching the meat, I'm going to wipe off the vegetables. If some get on there, that's absolutely fine. Okay. You're going to need your induction burner and a skillet today. It's going to lightly heat it. You're going to turn on to medium heat, about an 8. Now, just as a quick review, if you don't get an induction burner, you're going to be on the range. The range has a lot more, it's much more powerful. Your pan's going to heat up quicker, and you're going to have to keep an eye on it in the induction burner, but even more so in here because it's going to cook a lot quicker. It might even burn, so you need to make sure you're watching it. Okay. Now into your pan, you do not need to put any oil or anything like that because there's oil left in your marinade that's still on the meat. And there's some fat on there that will help prevent it from sticking. You're going to keep your meat whole. We do not cook it until the end. The reason we're doing that is all the juices and flavors are going to be in the center, and then you'll cook it right before eating. So you're going to put this directly onto here. Should sizzle, you know it's hot then. We're going to put this right off to the side. You do not want to use this juice again because that would be cross-contamination. So your vegetables should not come in contact with this. Alright? Put this right off to the side. At this point, one person should be cleaning them. Okay? Now as we cook this, you want to make sure it's all caramelizing together. You're going to use tongs to flip it. Will make for easy flipping. Alright, I have just cooked our steak. You're going to do about 3 to 4 minutes on each side, depending on how hot or how high your heat is. Again, it's going to take a little fast. It's going to be faster on the range. So you want it nice and caramelized. It should be dark in color. If you like your steak well done, you can keep it on a little bit longer. This is probably going to be about a medium rare to medium. I'm going to place this directly onto my cutting board, which has been cleaned, nothing is on it. And you're just going to let it sit, and all the juices are going to create. You do not want to cut it yet, or all the juices are going to flip out everywhere. So you want to cut right before service. What we're going to do now is, with the same pan, with the meat juices still in there, we're going to cook our vegetables. However, you would think to yourself, isn't that cross-contamination? No, not necessarily, because we've heated this, and this is probably over 200 degrees, so it would kill any bacteria. If there's not a lot of juices in your pan, you're going to add just a little bit of oil. Again, savory cooking, you do not need to whip out your measuring spoon. So I'm just going to use my cap, and I'm just going to kind of drip a little bit in there, because if you don't have any fat in there, if it's too dry, your vegetables won't cook properly. And you're just going to put your vegetables in, stir them around, and you're just doing a light saute, just like stir fry. Should be very fragrant. You can see the beautiful colors. And this is going to take about 3 minutes. Okay, your vegetables are just about done. You're cooking them until limp or just crisp to the bite, okay? And if you look, you can tell they're still whole, they're not soupy, they still have their vibrant color. The longer you let them cook, the more brown they're going to become, and you still want them to be visually appealing. So we're right at finished right now. So I'm just going to put them into our bowl. Be careful, the metal bowls are very hot when you put hot items into them. I'm just going to put this right down, turn off your heat. And actually, I just wanted to turn this off because we're almost time for service. So we have our finished meat, and you can see the juices are running out, and that's good. That's a sign that you've cooked your meat well. It's nice and golden, dark golden brown, and then you have your vegetables. Okay. The last thing you want to do is you want to heat your tortillas. You can do this in a couple of different ways. You can do it in the microwave, you can wrap this in aluminum foil and cook it in the oven, or you can do it the quick way that we're going to do right now. Put a little bit of oil in your pan, and you're just going to cook each side for about 30 seconds to about a minute. Put a little bit of oil. If there's still oil in your pan from the vegetables, that's great. You don't need oil. And then you're just going to put, and you can put all 4 down, 2 per person. And you're just going to cook them till they'll just warm. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my meat. Because the meat's still warm, you don't want to put your hand directly on it. It's going to hurt. So these are protective gloves for cutting, and they're red. So you know that they're for meat, because meat is red. And this is, by using these, it will protect you, and then because of the red color, universal red color, everyone knows that's for meat. Okay? So you hold your meat down, and you're going to cut against the grain. That's this way. Okay? You're going to cut at an angle. See? Nice medium rare. Still a little bit of pink. If you don't like it that light, you need to cook your meat longer. And you're going to nicely or thinly cut your meat. You're going to leave them nice and long, just like so, because they're going to fill your tortillas. You're just going to keep cutting. You're not going to dice them. You want to keep them long. This is exactly how they would serve it at any type of restaurant. Okay, I'm going to take my gloves off. Since I just cut the meat, I'd wash my hands again. Okay, I just washed my hands after touching the meat, so you're just going to flip this around. Remember, you're not like, if you want them completely grilled, you can keep it on longer, but we're just warming them. Okay, you can get your plate ready. As toppings, you can also use a little bit of cheese, and sour cream will be available for you. Okay, so this is just about warm. We're going to take these off. Put them on your plate. Turn off your burner. And now I would clean up your workstation, and then as soon as you get approval, you may eat. How this is going to go, be careful it's warm when you pick it up. You're going to put on some of your steak. And then you'll add some of your vegetables. Okay, and then you can top with sour cream, cheese, and bon appetit.